The large meeting room on the Confederation space station fell silent as Ambassador Henry Wallace stood up. His gray suit was plain next to the colorful robes of the alien delegates. For 3 weeks, he and his team had listened to the Galactic Confederation's terms. "Earth thanks the Confederation for its offer," he said calmly, "but we must decline membership under these conditions." The lead Zaxari diplomat, Vreshna, blinked his 4 eyes in surprise. His blue skin wrinkled around his mouth as he spoke. "You cannot be serious, human. Your species needs our protection." Catherine Nichols, Wallace's second-in-command, closed her tablet and stood beside him. "Our decision is final," she said. The Veltranian representative clicked her mandibles together. "Without our help, your primitive world will be easy prey for space pirates and resource hunters." Wallace smiled politely. "We'll take our chances." The human delegation gathered their papers and devices. The aliens watched in disbelief as they packed up. 30% taxation on all Earth minerals," Wallace said. "Limited travel rights, restricted access to galactic technology. These are not fair terms for membership." The Zaxari leader waved his long fingers dismissively. "All new species start at the bottom. In 100 years, maybe you can ask for better terms." "We won't be asking again," Nichols replied. Several aliens laughed, a strange mix of clicks, rumbles, and hisses filling the room. "You'll be back within a year," said Vreshna. "Your little planet cannot survive alone." Wallace paused at the door. "Perhaps, but humans have a saying, don't judge someone until you've walked in their shoes." "Your Earth sayings mean nothing here," the Zaxari snapped. The human team left the station and boarded their ship. Through the viewport, Earth was a blue marble in the distance. "They think we're weak," said Nichols, watching the station shrink behind them. Wallace nodded. "Let them think that. Send word to all Earth governments as soon as we're out of their communication range. Operation Self-Reliance begins today." "Do you think they'll regret how they treated us?" asked Greg Powell, the team's technology expert. "They will," Wallace replied. "Humans don't give up easily. We adapt, we improve, we overcome. The Confederation just doesn't know it yet." Back on the station, the alien delegates were already dividing potential Earth territories among themselves, planning how to approach the humans when they returned begging for protection. "Primitive newcomers," Vreshna said to the others. "They'll learn their place soon enough." Little did they know, Earth had no intention of learning any place the Confederation had in mind. Instead, humanity was about to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. 5 years passed without a word from Earth to the Galactic Confederation. The aliens saw this silence as proof that humans were struggling alone. They were wrong. Inside a large underground base in Colorado, Joseph Martinez studied holographic maps of the galaxy. As head of Operation Self-Reliance, the former military strategist coordinated humanity's biggest project ever. "Status report," he said to the room full of experts. Olivia Bell, chief scientist, stepped forward. "The new shield technology works. Our test ships can now withstand 5 times more damage than Confederation vessels." "Weapons?" Martins asked. Richard Garner pulled up images of a sleek cannon. "Our pulse cannons can disable enemy ships without destroying them. Perfect for showing strength without starting a war." Martinez nodded. "And propulsion?" "Twice as fast as anything the Confederation has," Bell replied. "We can reach their capital world in days, not weeks." Outside the base, Earth had changed. Old enemies now worked together. The threat from space had united humanity like nothing before. On Mars and Europa, huge factories built ships day and night. Workers moved between Earth and its colonies, carrying materials and new technology. Meanwhile, Confederation spies reported back to their leaders. The humans appear quiet. A Veltranian spy told the Council, "Their primitive ships rarely leave their solar system." Vreshna, now head of the Council, seemed pleased. "They are hiding in fear, as expected. Soon, they will beg to join us." But the spies only saw what humans wanted them to see. Old, slow ships moved between planets as decoys. The real fleet stayed hidden. In orbit around Jupiter, Angela Rodriguez inspected the EDS Retribution, Earth's newest warship. Unlike the bulky Confederation designs, human ships were now sleek and fast. Fleet status, she asked her second-in-command. 200 ships ready, Admiral. Another 300 will be ready next month. Rodriguez ran her hand along the smooth wall of the bridge. And the crews? Trained and ready. We've run 50 simulations of Confederation battle tactics. In a secret meeting room on Earth, the leaders of all nations gathered. Ambassador Wallace, now older but still standing tall, addressed them. For 5 years, we've worked in silence. The Confederation thinks we're weak and divided. They're about to learn how wrong they are. A woman raised her hand. What if they attack first? Martinez smiled. We're counting on it. The best time to show your strength is when your enemy tests you. As the meeting ended, Wallace looked at the Earth flag on the wall. The Confederation wanted us to know our place, he said quietly. They just didn't realize our place isn't at the bottom. Scans confirm it. The Zaxari mining chief reported to his superiors. The moons of Saturn contain rare minerals worth billions of credits. The Confederation Council didn't hesitate. Without asking Earth's permission, they sent a mining fleet of 30 ships to Saturn. After all, humans were just a primitive species who had rejected Confederation protection. Their opinion didn't matter. 2 days after the fleet arrived at Saturn, Earth's Space Defense Command detected them. Unauthorized mining operation in progress, reported the sensor officer to Admiral Rodriguez. They've already set up drilling equipment on Titan. Rodriguez contacted Earth's government. The Confederation is stealing our resources. Request permission to respond. The president's answer came quickly. Show them we're not the same humans they met 5 years ago. Captain Daniel Morris stood on the bridge of the EDS Retribution as his small fleet of 5 ships approached Saturn. Compared to the 30 Confederation mining vessels and their 10 military escorts, the human force looked tiny. Open a channel, Morris ordered. The face of a surprised Veltranian commander appeared on screen. Humans? What do you want? Morris spoke calmly. You are mining in Earth territory without permission. You have 1 hour to pack up and leave. The alien commander laughed. 1 hour. You have 5 tiny ships. We have 40. Leave now or be destroyed. Morris ended the call and turned to his weapons officer. They always underestimate us. Begin Operation Shadow. The 5 human ships suddenly vanished from Confederation scanners. Their new stealth technology, developed by Olivia Bell, made them invisible to alien sensors. Where did they go? The Veltranian commander shouted as alarms blared throughout his ship. The answer came as the Retribution reappeared directly above the mining fleet's command vessel. In quick succession, 4 more human ships popped into view, surrounding the alien fleet. Targeting their engines and weapons only, Morris ordered. No casualties. The new human pulse cannons fired with precision. Within minutes, all 40 Confederation ships floated helplessly in space, their engines and weapons disabled but life support intact. Morris reopened the channel to the stunned Veltranian commander. As I was saying, you have 1 hour to leave. We've left your life support and emergency thrusters operational. That should be enough to get you to the edge of our system. This is impossible, the commander sputtered. Your technology. How did you advance so quickly? We humans work well under pressure, Morris replied. Consider this a friendly warning. Next time, ask permission before taking what isn't yours. As the crippled Confederation fleet limped away from Saturn, a small Nateri trading ship watched from a distance. The Nateri, one of the Confederation's smallest and most oppressed species, had secretly recorded the entire encounter. Within days, the recording spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had been bullied by the Confederation for centuries watched in amazement as the newcomer humans effortlessly disabled a fleet 40 times their size. Back on Earth, Ambassador Wallace met with the President and the military leadership. "The Confederation will be furious," the President said. Wallace nodded. "Good. Let them be furious. But more importantly, the rest of the galaxy now knows we can stand up to them." "What happens next?" asked Martinez. "If I know the galaxy," Wallace replied, "our communication system is about to get very busy. There are many species who've waited centuries for someone to challenge the Confederation. They'll want to talk." Rodriguez smiled. "And this time, we'll set the terms of the conversation." On his ship heading back to Confederation space, the Veltranian commander feared for his career and possibly his life. How would he explain that 5 human ships had defeated his entire fleet without firing a single killing shot? Worse yet, how would the Confederation respond to being humiliated by a species they had dismissed as primitive? The answer would soon reshape the galaxy. 1 week after the Saturn incident, Earth's new communications center detected an unusual signal. It came from a small ship hiding behind Earth's moon. "It's using an encrypted channel," said the communications officer. "But it's not Confederation standard." Lisa Wong, Earth's new head diplomat, watched as the message was decoded. A thin, green-skinned alien appeared on screen. "Greetings from the Natari people," the alien said quietly. "We wish to speak with Earth's leaders." In secret. 2 days later, Wong met with the Natari representative in a secure room beneath Geneva. The small alien looked nervous. "The Confederation doesn't know I'm here," he said. "I would be punished for contacting you directly." Wong nodded. "Why take such a risk? Your victory at Saturn has given hope to many species. For centuries, the Zaxari and Veltranians have ruled the Confederation, taking resources from smaller worlds like mine. And you want our help?" Wong asked. The Natari leaned forward. "We want more than help. We want an alliance. And I'm not the only one." Within a month, ships from 7 different species had secretly contacted Earth. The Peldorians with their advanced medical knowledge, the Kurani with their mining expertise, the Vox with their unmatched skill in growing food on harsh planets. All of them shared the same story: years of unfair treatment by the Confederation's most powerful members. Meanwhile, the Confederation Council called an emergency meeting. "The humans must answer for their attack on our mining fleet," Vreshna demanded. A Veltranian official pounded the table. "They should be punished." Before they could agree on a response, a message from Earth appeared on the main screen. Ambassador Wallace stood with representatives from all Earth nations behind him. "Greetings, Confederation Council," he said. "We've considered our position in the galaxy and have made a decision. Earth will not be joining the Confederation." Vreshna laughed. "You still believe you can survive alone? Foolish humans." Wallace smiled. "We won't be alone." Today, Earth announces the formation of the Free Systems Alliance, an organization based on fair trade, mutual defense, and respect for all member worlds. The council members fell silent as 7 other alien representatives stepped into view beside Wallace. "The Natari people joined the alliance," said their leader. "The Peldorians stand with Earth," announced another. One by one, each representative declared their membership in the new alliance. Vreshna's 4 eyes widened in shock. "This is against Confederation law. These worlds belong to our protection zone." "Not anymore," Wallace replied. "Each has formally withdrawn from the Confederation. As founding members of the alliance, they now share Earth's technology and protection." The connection ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. Back on Earth, Wong met with the new alliance members. "The Confederation won't accept this easily," she warned. "They may try to force you back." The Natari representative stood taller than before. "For the first time in 300 years, my people make their own choices. We are prepared for the consequences." In markets across the galaxy, prices for key resources began to rise sharply. Many of these resources came from the worlds that had just joined the alliance. Confederation merchants panicked as supply chains broke down. On his private ship, Vreshna called an emergency meeting with the wealthiest Confederation members. "These humans must be stopped," he hissed. "They threaten everything we've built." A Veltranian trade minister looked worried. "But how? Their technology seems more advanced than ours now." "Impossible," Vreshna said. "They're bluffing. We need to see exactly what they're capable of." "You mean spies?" asked another counselor. Vreshna nodded. "Find out how strong they really are. Then we'll crush this alliance before it grows any larger." Little did he know, the humans were counting on exactly this response. The Confederation spy ship entered the Sol system with its stealth systems at maximum power. Its mission was simple: assess human military capability and report back. "Keep us hidden," the Zaxari commander ordered. "We need to see what these humans are really capable of." For 3 days, they observed Earth and its colonies. What they saw shocked them. Ships moved between planets at speeds twice as fast as Confederation vessels. Construction of massive space stations continued day and night around Mars. Defensive platforms surrounded Earth with weapons unlike anything the spies had seen before. "This cannot be possible," the commander said as he watched the footage. 5 years ago, they barely had ships that could reach their own moon. When the spy ship returned to Confederation space, its report caused panic among military leaders. On Earth, Kyle Harrison sat in a large control room filled with screens and computers. As head of Earth's AI development, he had created something revolutionary. "Quantum network is online," he announced to the room of technicians. "All Alliance ships and bases are now connected." Harrison turned to explain to the visiting Alliance ambassadors. "This system lets our ships and planets talk to each other instantly, no matter how far apart they are. The Confederation cannot listen in or block it." A Natari ambassador looked impressed. "How far ahead of Confederation technology is this?" "About 50 years, Harrison replied. "They're still using basic light-speed communications." Meanwhile, the first Alliance trading ships began traveling through Confederation space. When a Confederation patrol tried to stop one for inspection, they discovered they couldn't even touch it. "Their shields are impenetrable," the patrol captain reported back. "Our weapons did nothing." As more Alliance ships appeared throughout the galaxy, Confederation scientists grew alarmed. "The humans have surpassed us in propulsion, weapons, shields, and communications," reported the chief scientist to the Confederation Council. "And they're sharing everything with their Alliance members." "How did this happen?" demanded Vreshna. "They were primitives. They were motivated," replied the scientist. "When we rejected them, they had nothing to lose and everything to prove." Throughout Alliance territory, human technology transformed worlds that had been struggling under Confederation rule. Planets that once barely fed themselves now had food surpluses. Worlds with harsh environments now had shield domes protecting comfortable cities. In a secret Confederation military meeting, commanders argued over what to do. "We must strike now," said one general, pounding the table, "before the technology gap grows even wider." "Against their shields and weapons," another asked. "We would lose." "Then we strike somewhere unexpected," the first general replied. "Hit a small colony before they can respond." Back on Earth, Rebecca Foster worked in her lab, testing new defensive systems. As Earth's top defensive designer, her work had revolutionized protection for Alliance worlds. The emergency response system passed all tests, she told Martinez on a secure call. "If any Alliance world is attacked, our entire fleet will know within seconds." Martinez nodded. "Good. The Confederation is getting desperate. Our intelligence suggests they're planning something." "Let them try," Foster said. "Every system has backups. Every colony has defenses. We're ready." On the Confederation capital world, Vreshna approved the attack plan. "Target their colony on New Haven. It's far from Earth and lightly defended. This will show the galaxy that humans aren't as powerful as they pretend to be." The commander saluted. "It will be done. The humans won't know what hit them." A human communications officer smiled as she decoded the Confederation transmission ordering the attack. Within minutes, Alliance Command knew exactly what was coming. Sometimes the best trap is the one your enemy thinks is their own idea. The Confederation attack fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near New Haven, the human colony world. 20 warships, the largest fleet they had sent against anyone in 50 years, moved toward the small planet. No major defenses detected, reported the Zaxxeri fleet commander. Begin attack in 5 minutes. On New Haven's surface, 2,000 human colonists went about their day. Farmers tended crops under the twin suns. Children played in parks. No one ran in panic. No alarms sounded. The fleet commander frowned. They should have detected us by now. Why aren't they afraid? His question was answered when a small light blinked on above the colony. Then another, and another. Soon, a web of tiny lights covered the sky above New Haven. "What are those?" asked the second in command. Before anyone could answer, the lights connected with beams of energy, forming a shield dome over the entire colony. "Open fire," ordered the commander. The Confederation ships launched everything they had. Missiles, energy weapons, and bombs hit the shield, and did nothing. Not even a flicker disturbed the protective dome. "Our weapons aren't penetrating," shouted a weapons officer. The commander slammed his fist on his chair. "Keep firing. It must have a weakness." Just then, 5 human ships appeared behind the Confederation fleet. They hadn't been there seconds before. They simply appeared, as if from nowhere. The human vessels were smaller than the Confederation warships, but sleek and angular, unlike anything seen before. At the center of the human formation flew the EDS Retribution, now famous throughout the galaxy. Admiral Patrick Sloan stood on the Retribution's bridge. "Open a channel to the Confederation fleet," he ordered. The face of the surprised Zaxxeri commander appeared on screen. "This is Admiral Sloan of the Free Systems Alliance. You are attacking a peaceful colony without provocation. Cease fire immediately." "We do not recognize your authority," the Zaxxeri commander replied. "This sector belonged to the Confederation before you stole our member worlds." Sloan nodded calmly. "Very well. You leave us no choice." He turned to his weapons officer. "Activate the FTL disruptor." From the Retribution, a pulse of blue energy expanded outward. When it touched the Confederation ships, their engines sputtered and died. "What have you done?" demanded the Zaxxeri commander, panic in his voice. "We've temporarily disabled your faster-than-light drives," Sloan explained. "The effect will last for approximately 1 month. You're welcome to try limping home at sublight speed, but that would take you about 8 years from this position." The commander's blue face turned pale. "That's impossible. No one can disable FTL drives." "No one could," Sloan corrected, "until now." He leaned forward. "Here is our message to the Confederation Council. We know your military bases. We know your supply routes. We know your weaknesses. The next time you attack an Alliance world, we will not disable your ships for a month. We will disable your entire sector's FTL capability for a year." Horror spread across the alien commander's face. Such technology would cripple any civilization dependent on faster-than-light travel. "The Free Systems Alliance wants peace," Sloan continued. "But we are prepared for war. Make your choice." The connection ended. On his ship, the Zaxxeri commander faced an impossible situation. His fleet was stranded. His mission had failed completely. And he had just witnessed technology that should not exist for centuries. Back on the Confederation capital world, the news hit like an earthquake. Military commanders argued about what to do. Political leaders blamed each other for the disaster. And across the galaxy, more worlds began sending secret messages to Earth, asking about joining the Alliance. Inside the Confederation Council chamber, a Veltranian representative spoke quietly to Vreshna. "Perhaps we should consider opening real negotiations with the humans this time." Vreshna stared out at the stars. "They won't listen now. We had our chance years ago. and we treated them like dirt. For the first time in his long life, the Zaxxari leader felt real fear. Not for himself, but for the future of the civilization he had helped build. A civilization that had just awakened a sleeping giant. 2 months after the failed attack on New Haven, the Confederation faced a crisis unlike any in its history. With more worlds joining the Alliance each week, their economy began to crumble. On Earth, Michelle Grant stood before the Alliance Economic Council. As Earth's top economist, she had spent years studying the Confederation's unfair trade system. The old system was built to make the strong stronger and the weak weaker, she explained to the representatives of 23 worlds. Our new system will be different. On the screen behind her, a simple diagram appeared. It showed resources flowing between worlds in a balanced pattern. Each world contributes what they can and receives what they need. Grant continued. Fair prices for all goods. No world exploits another. An Atari representative raised her hand. The Confederation took 80% of our mining output for centuries. How can we recover? Grant smiled. With this, she pressed a button, and the screen showed new Earth technology for rapid mine restoration and advanced farming equipment. These tools will help your world produce 10 times more with half the effort. We ask only fair payment, not ownership of your resources. Within weeks, the Alliance Economic Charter was signed by all member worlds. Human engineers traveled throughout Alliance space, upgrading factories, farms, and power plants with technology the Confederation had kept from smaller worlds. On the Zaxxari homeworld, the effects were felt immediately. The luxurious cities had always depended on cheap resources from other planets. Now those resources either didn't arrive or cost 5 times more. My people are angry, Vreshna told the Confederation Council. Our economy is failing. The humans have turned our own worlds against us. In the wealthy districts of the Zaxxari capital, lights dimmed as power was rationed. Food shortages appeared for the first time in living memory. Ships sat idle in ports with no cargo to carry. Meanwhile, former Confederation worlds flourished under Alliance guidance. The Peldorians, once forced to give away their medical knowledge, now ran their own hospitals with advanced human equipment. The Kirani, whose mining skills had been exploited for generations, now operated their own refineries and factories. Most important of all, key trading hubs that had once been controlled by the Confederation switched to the Alliance. Worlds like Jexar Station and Kolnar Prime, where thousands of ships met to trade goods from across the galaxy, now operated under Alliance rules. We've lost control of 70% of galactic trade, a Veltranian economic minister reported to his government. Our currencies are collapsing. As the crisis deepened, refugees began fleeing from Confederation worlds to Alliance territory. They brought stories of hardship and hunger unlike anything seen in centuries. Lisa Wong, now serving as Alliance Humanitarian Director, met with the Leadership Council. The Confederation citizens are suffering, she said, not the leaders who made poor choices, but ordinary people who had no say in those decisions. Ambassador Wallace nodded. What do you suggest? We send aid, Wong replied. Food, medicine, power generators. We show the galaxy the difference between their leadership and ours. Some council members objected. Why help those who would have conquered us? Martinez, who had been quiet during the meeting, finally spoke. Because that's what makes us different from them. We don't use power to hurt. We use it to help. The vote was unanimous. Alliance ships, clearly marked with medical symbols, began delivering supplies to struggling Confederation worlds. The shipments came with no demands, no conditions, and no propaganda, just help for those in need. On a once wealthy Zaxxari world, hungry citizens lined up to receive food packages marked with Earth's symbol. An old Zaxxari turned to his grandson. I spent my life believing humans were primitive, he said quietly. I was wrong. They give food to their enemies while our own leaders let us starve. Across the galaxy, the contrast could not have been clearer. Alliance worlds grew prosperous while Confederation worlds declined. and the galaxy took note of which system truly cared for its people. 10 years had passed since Earth walked away from the Confederation's unfair offer. In that decade, the galaxy had changed more than in the previous 1,000 years. The grand meeting hall on Earth's new space station, Unity, buzzed with activity. Representatives from over 100 worlds gathered for a historic event. Among them were faces from every corner of the galaxy, including, for the first time, official delegations from all former Confederation worlds. Ambassador Henry Wallace, now with gray hair and lines on his face, adjusted his simple black suit as he prepared to address the assembly. At 73 years old, he had come out of retirement for this one final duty. 3 months earlier, the last holdout worlds of the Confederation had formally requested membership in the Free Systems Alliance. With their economies in ruins and their people demanding change, even the proud Zaxxari and Veltranians had finally accepted the inevitable. The Confederation, after ruling the galaxy for over 15 centuries, had officially dissolved. Wallace stepped to the podium and looked out at the gathered representatives. Some faces showed excitement, others nervousness. The former Confederation leaders mostly showed resignation. 10 years ago, Wallace began, Earth was offered a place in the galaxy. As long as we accepted being treated as lesser beings, we chose to walk away instead. He paused, looking directly at the Zaxxari delegation. That decision was not made in anger or pride. It was made because we believe that any lasting union must be built on respect and fairness. Across the hall, Catherine Nichols, now Earth's president, watched her old friend speak. She remembered that day on the Confederation station when they had packed their briefcases and left, uncertain what would come next. Today, Wallace continued, we gather not as rulers and subjects, not as winners and losers, but as equals. The Alliance now includes every major world in our galaxy. Together, we have an opportunity unlike any before, to build something that serves all our peoples. He gestured to a large document displayed on the screen behind him. The Galactic Charter before you today was written by representatives from 50 worlds, including former Confederation leaders. It guarantees equal rights for all species, fair trade between all worlds, and shared defense of our common interests. In the front row, Vreshna, the former head of the Confederation Council, listened carefully. The once proud Zaxxari had lost everything when his government collapsed. Yet here he sat, included in the new order despite his past actions. We invite all worlds to sign this charter, Wallace said, not because they must, but because they choose to. Any world may remain independent if they wish. Any world may leave the Alliance if they find it no longer serves their needs. One by one, representatives approached the charter to place their signatures. Former enemies now stood side by side. Worlds that had once been exploited now had equal votes with those who had exploited them. When the signing was complete, Wallace returned to the podium. Let history record that on this day, we chose cooperation over domination. Let future generations look back and see that when given power, we chose to share it rather than hoard it. After the ceremony, a young Zaxxari historian approached Wallace. I've been documenting these events for our archives, she said. What lesson should the galaxy take from what happened? Wallace thought for a moment. Never mistake patience for weakness, he replied, especially when dealing with humans. 2 weeks later, the first ship built under the new charter prepared to leave on an exploration mission to uncharted space. Its crew included members from 27 different species, including humans, Zaxxari, Natari, and Ultranians. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge, looking at her diverse crew working together seamlessly. Ready for departure, Captain, reported her Veltranian first officer. Vasquez nodded. Take us out. Let's see what's waiting for us out there. As the ship moved toward the unknown, it carried with it the hope of a truly united galaxy, one that had learned its painful lesson and emerged stronger for it. Sometimes, walking away from a bad deal is the first step toward building something better.